But don't forget to put those comics on.
All right, we are live. Put the
Yeah.
comments there. All right, first and foremost, give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Baracha, Kodash. Peace and blessings to the hopeful, humbly elect that listen and learning, the Akim wa Akwaf Yum, and double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone that's been teaching us this truth. Much respect to the Kabarim on the highways and hedges, bidding Yashra to the marriage, and to those making videos of vacation to wake up the lost sheep. Salutations to the hopeful, humbly elect scattered abroad, to be unto the speckled bird, as it says in the book of Jeremiah. So, as you see, the title says that the ways of the heathen. As a matter of fact, that was rude of me. I'd like to introduce the brothers here,
Good job.
brother Ibadia and brother Lawat, beautiful
Shalom.
brothers from the spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Very knowledgeable brothers, subscribe to their pages. Very diligent, very humble.
Likewise.
All through the spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, you know.
God.
So you see the title here. It says the ways of the heathen are vain. And, you know, we're talking about, obviously, this wicked holiday called Christmas that just passed by not too long ago. You know, you still got people still celebrating it. But we're going to talk about that. So I'm going to start with the book of Jeremiah, Jeremiah chapter 10. And I'm going to start at verse 1. And it says, "Hear ye the word which the Lord speaketh unto you, house of Israel." So this is speaking to our people. It says, "Thus saith the Lord, learn not the ways of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven," and the signs meaning the prophecies.
Right.
And it says, "For the heathen are dismayed at them." Verse 3, "For the customs of the people are vain, for one cutteth a tree out of the forest, the work of the hands of the workmen with the axe. They deck it with silver and with gold. They fasten it with nails and with hammers that it move not." So this is going into what? This is going into the practice and the heathen custom of what's called Christmas. All right. Where they have people, you know, woodmen that go into the forest and cut down these trees. All right. And they bring it into the stores and they sell them amongst the people, and the people buy them to do what? To stand them up in their houses, to deck them with Christmas ornaments, right? So-called angels, right? And the star that they place on the top, all right, which is a heathen custom. And our people still celebrate these heathen customs to this day. You know, this is going back to the works of Nimrod, you know, and Nimrod is also a heathen. Okay, his customs are not the ways of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. All right, along with these other holidays like Halloween, Easter, and Thanksgiving. All right, so these are the heathen customs amongst what was practiced here in spiritual Babylon. Okay, and
Right.
unfortunately, you know, 2/3 of our people, even those who know that they are Israelites, because I mean, the truth is the truth is all over the place. You know, everywhere we're scattered, we're coming back into remembrance of who we are, and this word is being brought out. Okay, and also the judgments, so on and so forth. All right, so we have people that know that they are Israelites. However, they still celebrate the customs of the heathen. All right. So I got I'm gonna bring out one more precept. I'm gonna let the brothers take the floor. This is Wisdom of Solomon, the 13th chapter. I'm gonna start at verse 10. And it says, check this out. It says, "But miserable are they, and in dead things is their hope." So you have a lot of people who hope in these in these idols, man. You know, they have some type of faith, some type of hope, some type of they hold value, you know, so on and so forth. They place value into these things. It says, "But miserable are they, and in dead things is their hope, who called them gods, which are the works of men's hands, gold and silver, to shew art in, and resemblances of beasts, or a stone good for nothing, the work of an ancient hand." So this is going into what? Idolatry. And
Right.
these holidays are forms of idols. Why? Because the people go crazy when these holidays come about. You know, they work overtime, they bust their ass just to do
Right.
what? To spend, right? To go out and buy Christmas presents and so on and so forth, to give homage, to pay homage to these false idols, you know, a Christmas tree being one of them. All right. And it says,
Yeah.
we'll go to verse 11, and it says, now a carpenter that felleth timber, after he have sawed down a tree meet for the purpose, and taken off all the bark skillfully round about, and hath wrought it handsomely. So they decked it out
Yeah.
and
Right.
made a vessel therefore fit for the service of man's life. And it says, and after spending the refuse of his work to dress his meat, hath filled himself, and taking the very refuse among those which serve to no use, being a crooked piece of wood and full of knots, hath carved it diligently when he had nothing else to do, and formed it by the skill of his understanding, and fashioned it to the image of a man. All right. So again, this is going back to idolatry. This is going back to how men of the world will place all their hard work and even their skill, which Yahweh Shem Shah blessed them with, to create these idols. Going back to the workman that goes and cuts down the tree in the field, they put all that blood, sweat, and tears. Now, I'm not sure if you know about loggers, but men who
Who?
go out there
Who?
and cut down trees,
Who?
that's the loggers.
Oh, yeah. Wow. Okay. Lumberjack.
Loggers,
Okay. Right. Right. Right.
loggers, that's a very dangerous job, man. You know, you got people that get crushed by these trees, man. They cut them down and whap, they're finished, you know? So they're putting their life on the line, you know,
True.
going back to people working overtime to just praise, you know, these dumb idols that have nothing to do with Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, you know? And unfortunately, the majority of our people still celebrate the customs of the heathen, you know? You got the floor, Hakim.
Yeah. What I want to say is throughout your pod monologue, prior to the flood, our
Mm,
people were still following the customs of the heathen and worshiping their gods. And um, what we have to remember is that when it says the sons of God was going into the daughters of men, that was us, Hebrew
yep.
Israelites.
Mhm,
You know, we
yep.
wasn't just being called Israelites during that time. We were just known as the sons of God, going back to Genesis the 6th chapter. And that's another reason why the Lord told us to take our women from our own nation,
Mhm,
because it's just by nature. A woman only is going to be taught whatever her father taught her based upon his custom. So if an Israelite man was to lay down with a heathen woman, that heathen woman is the first child. Matter of fact, the mother itself of any nation is the first teacher of any child. So that child will
mhm,
learn the customs of that woman. If it's a heathen woman, then that child will learn the customs of a heathen woman. And that's what happens with a lot of our people today, laying down with
yeah,
women of other nations. Like if I was to have a child from a God forbid, if I was to have a child from a mobile woman, more than likely she would want to
mhm,
teach my child about the Confucian spirit or
God,
about Buddha. If I was to have a child from a woman that was from Turkey and she was Muslim, she's gonna teach my child about Allah because that's what the
mm,
custom that her father taught her. So every nation had their own gods, but our
yep.
God is not an idol. Our God is the living power, the living God. And our people have been following those customs since prior to the flood. This is Joshua 24 and 14. Now therefore fear Yahweh and serve him in sincerity and in truth, and put away the gods which your
Mm,
fathers served on the other side of the flood
mm,
and in Egypt, and serve ye Yahweh. And if it seem evil unto you to serve Yahweh, choose you this day whom ye will serve, whether the gods which your fathers served that were on the other side of the flood, or the gods of the Amorites, in whose land ye dwell. But as for me and my house, we will serve Yahweh. So, going back, understanding like the gods of the Amorites, though, like the I'm not mistaken, the Amorites are perceiving to be like of
Really.
the Hamitic descents,
Come.
these descendants. So our people are following the customs of the modern day Africans. So we're not Africans at all. You know, we're
Mm-hmm.
Israelites. So like Ashtoreth, Baal, which is what Nimrod was known as after he passed away, as Baal, which means the Lord.
Come.
You know, and our people will follow that custom, not knowing that the Christmas tree goes back to Nimrod after he perished, the evergreen tree, and then bowing down to the Christmas tree on December 25th during the winter solstice is pretty much giving homage to Nimrod,
Yep.
worshiping the phallus, the penis, which goes back to Osiris, Isis, and Horus, the Trinity, just like the Trinity of Nimrod, Semiramis, and Tammuz, which the Roman also took that same um, concept and going even further into a wicked Israelite by the name of Constantine. All right, during the time of
Mm.
Constantinople, the Byzantine Empire came up with Christianity, right? So
Come.
they came up with the Most High, Yahweh. Well, I didn't say Yahweh, I'm going to say God, the Holy Spirit, and whom the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, whose name is
Jesus
Yahweh
Christ.
Shai. Right. So
Yep.
it's tradition that's been passed down from generation to generation to generation. It's just all be revamped, revised, and rewatched. But we will serve Yahweh. That's our living power. And the brother got a
Mm-hmm.
quick precept.
To also add on, when you mentioned the woman is the first teacher of the child, Tobit 4:12, beware of all whoredom, my son,
Hmm.
and chiefly take a wife of the seed of thy fathers,
Beautiful.
and take not a
Come.
strange woman to wife, which is not of thy father's tribe.
Beautiful.
We are the children of the prophets Noah,
Woo.
Mm-hmm.
Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob.
Noah was a prophet. Go ahead.
Yep.
Remember, my son, that our fathers from the beginning, even that they all married wives of their own
The
kindred,
beginning.
and were blessed in their children, and their seed shall inherit the land.
That's a beautiful precept, bro.
That's
That was
beautiful.
fun.
Yep.
Right. Right.
Yep.
Yeah, head
Can I-
on.
can I-
Yeah, yeah. Go ahead. That was your father.
God. 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 You
Yeah.
see? So that's a beautiful thing, man. This is why, even in the book of Ezra, they talk about how the men of the Lord had to what? Put away their heathen wives and their children, you know? Because like you said, you brought up, if you were, Yahweh forbid, were to marry a heathen woman, and the child are
Oh,
learning the
yeah.
heathen customs,
Right.
that basically causes confusion, because if you're a man in the Lord, but yet, behind your back, secretly, the heathen woman is teaching the son about all these other
Well,
different
that.
gods, man. That's just pure
Yep.
confusion, you know.
Yep.
But us
Yep.
as the men in the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua gave us laws, statutes, and commandments. This is why it tells us in the scriptures that He gave us those commandments for us to be separate.
That's right.
Deuteronomy's, you know, in the book of Deuteronomy, it tells you that. So let's in the book of Exodus, I'm just gonna bring it out. The book of Exodus says, Exodus 20:3, and it says, "Thou shalt have no other gods before me," and that's a straight, plain commandment. That's a straight, plain commandment. All right. That we're not supposed to be under any other false idols, false philosophies, so on and
Right.
so forth. The scriptures say plainly in Exodus when we was out of the land of Egypt, because it tells us in this in the scriptures that you know. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna get that as a matter of fact, because it talks about um. So let's Leviticus. Give me 1 second.
Go ahead, Doc.
It's in the Deuteronomy, the 29th chapter, I believe.
Hold on. What are you looking for?
Deuteronomy 29 and verse 16, I believe. I'm going to get that real quick.
Hmm. Um. Well, as you look for that, if you want to,
Yep.
we're gonna bring out a quick precept.
Deuteronomy
Con.
chapter 4, verse 5 and 6. And it says, Behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments, even as the Lord thy
Con.
power commanded me, that ye
Con.
should do so in the land rather ye go to possess it, Keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom. So, Christmas, Valentine's
Mm-hmm.
Day,
Mm-hmm.
Mother's Day, Father's Day, these are not our customs. These are the customs of the heathens. And we have our own customs. This is why we grow our beard. This is why we obey the dietary laws. This is why we celebrate the Sabbaths
Con.
and what's the feast of the unleavened bread. Then you
Yep.
got the
The holy
the,
feast
the
days.
Day of Atonement.
Mm-hmm.
We have our own custom. That's what makes us special and peculiar from these other nations.
Yep.
This is what
Deuteronomy
makes us different.
76.
Keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and understanding in the sight of the nations, which ye shall hear these things and say, surely this is a great nation, is wise and understanding people.
Right.
Con.
Yep. And that goes to show you because like even when you think about when we came up out of Egypt, they couldn't see our power, but they saw the power of our power.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't like we had some idol that was graven by the hands and the works of men. No, our power is the God that created heavens and earth, heaven and earth. I
Create
brought it
all
out
things.
earlier. Yeah,
Yep.
going to
Create all
Jeremiah,
things.
even yeah, because you know how in Jeremiah the 10th chapter it speaks about how there's a man that hews or cuts a tree out of the
Mm-hmm.
field and decks it with ornaments. In that same chapter, if you keep reading on, like the 12th and 13th verse, it clearly says that our God is the God that created heaven and earth, the living God, the King of
Yep.
all God. So that goes to show you that, you know, when the heathen serving other gods, they're supposed to. We're not supposed to serve these idols because our God is a living power. Their God is something that they fashion amongst themselves from things that they've seen here on earth or elsewhere. This is First Corinthians chapter 8, verse 4. As concerning therefore the eating of those things that are offered in sacrifice unto idols, we know that an idol is nothing in the world,
Mm-hmm.
and that there is none other God but one. For though there be that are called gods, whether in heaven or on earth, as there be gods many, and lords many, even Baal was
Mm-hmm.
called, well, Nimrod was called Baal Lord, right?
Yep.
But to us there is but one God, the Father, of whom are all things, and we in him, and one Lord, Yahweh Mashiach, on whom are all things, and we by him. All right,
Beautiful.
so
Yep.
yeah, so at the end of the day, man, yeah, there are many gods, but we know that there is but one true God, one true power
Mm-hmm.
that can move and shift and change your life for the better or for the worse, depending on what side you on. That's the God that we believe. God that yeah,
God. Yep.
the God that we believe in. That's the God that we worship.
That
And
we
to
worship,
back,
man.
Mhm.
I got a precept to back of the brother when he mentioned we serve invisible God.
Mm-hmm.
Hebrews 11:27. By faith he forsook Egypt, Moses. So
Mm-hmm.
this is something with us. By faith we forsook Babylon and its ways. And it says, not fearing the wrath of the king, for
Mm-hmm.
he endured as seeing him who is invisible.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Spirit, 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 spirit.
That's beautiful, man. And the other nations never had that. That's why they had to create their own gods, and
Thank
fall down before it.
and fall down before
They
it.
fall down before it. But this is the scripture in Deuteronomy I was trying to get, and Salakia for that.
You
This is
good?
Deuteronomy 29, and I'm gonna start at verse 16. And it says, this is going back to how we came out of Egypt. For ye know how we have dwelt in the land of Egypt, and how we came through the nations which ye passed by. 17 says, and ye have seen their abominations and their idols, wood and stone, silver and gold, which were among them. Verse 18 says, lest there should be among you man or woman or family or tribe whose heart turneth away this day from the Lord our power to go and serve the gods of these nations, lest there should be among you a root that beareth gall and wormwood. You see that? So this is
Mm-hmm.
basically another example. how Yahweh was saying, like, listen, man, the other the idols of the nations are just dumb idols. They're
Right.
abominations. Abominations made of wood and stone, decked in silver and gold. So this is basically a past example of what's going on today. Our power is telling us, listen, man, the ways of the heathen are vain. There's no fruit. You're not going to bear any fruit. You won't receive any blessings. I mean, come on. You're not going to receive any type of blessings for serving these holidays, man. What are you going to get out of it?
No. Hell no.
Unless a continuance of being beaten down by Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, that's all you're going to receive from it.
Hmm. Hey, just to back you up, if you don't
Yep.
mind, this is Deuteronomy chapter
Yep.
4, verse 15. It says, "Take ye therefore good heed unto yourselves, for ye saw no manner of similitude on the day that the Lord spake unto you in Horeb out of the midst of the
Mm,
fire, lest ye corrupt yourselves." They go back to spiritual fornication. That's what it means by
yep.
corrupting ourselves, but worshiping idols. And make you a graven image, all right, whether it's something that's been sculpted out of stone,
Mm,
glass, or even drawn, anything that a man has created from his mind. The image of any figure, the likeness of male or female, the likeness of any beast that is on the earth, the likeness of any winged fowl that flieth in the air, the likeness
mm,
of anything that creepeth on the ground, the likeness of any fish, Dagon, that is in the waters beneath the earth. At least thou lift up thy eyes unto heaven, and when thou seest the sun and the moon and the stars, even
mm.
all the hosts of heaven, shouldest be driven to worship them. So, in other words, the Lord is like anything that you see with your eyes, or even what you imagine, and serve them, which the Lord thy God hath divided unto all nations under the whole heaven.
Mm.
So, like once again, there be many gods. The heathens are supposed to worship the sun, the moon, the stars, the creepy things. Hell,
Yep.
they even have a religion where people worship spaghetti as a god. That's real, dog. I
What?
ain't I BSing off for real.
Oh my
It
gosh,
made so much
man.
sense. Years ago, I was looking at a vine, and there's this dude named King Bach that lived in California, and he had a vine the way he was like on his knees crying, trying to put spaghetti in his pocket. I'm like, why is he crying about spaghetti? Then I ran across an article saying that people actually worship spaghetti, a spaghetti god or something. It's weird, bro. So this is Deuteronomy 4 and 20, continuing on. But Yahweh hath taken you and brought you forth out of the iron furnace, even out of Egypt, to be unto him a people of inheritance, as ye are this day. So
Mm,
it wasn't Hare Krishna, it wasn't Nimrod, all right, it wasn't Osiris, it wasn't uh, um Zeus, it wasn't Thor, it wasn't Frigga, it wasn't none of Odin,
mm.
it wasn't none of
Lord,
those
Lord.
gods.
Yep.
That brought us. You already know I'm going. That brought us. It was
Yeah.
none of those guys that's on that game called Smite. It's a game called Smite that has all the gods, all the
Yeah.
pagan gods in the world, Bacchus, all of that. None of
Mm-hmm.
them brought us up out of Egypt. Yahweh, Shemi Shah brought us up out of Egypt. So anything that you can see on earth that you worship, it's idolatry. Even worshiping another man is
Mm.
idolatry. We give reverence and double honors to the elders, but we do not worship them. There's a
Con.
difference. Like it's no different than reverencing our father or our mother or, or fire. You reverence fire
Mm.
because if you don't, you're gonna get what? Burned.
You're gonna get burned.
Mhm.
Huh.
Yeah.
Yep. And through the
So,
spirit, when you Salakia Lawat, through the
oh,
spirit, when you brought out that ridiculous religion about spaghetti, and you said you said that the guy was crying, placed the spaghetti in his pocket. This
right.
brought me to this brought
Let's
me to the
stop
book
out.
of Isaiah through the spirit, Isaiah 44, and I'm gonna start at verse 17. And the residue thereof he maketh to God, even his graven image. He falleth down unto it and worshipeth it, and prayeth unto it, and saith, Deliver me, for thou art my God. So this is going back to what the heathen practices, how they fall down to these gods, and and they actually ask for deliverance and some type of blessings, as if the idols are living, breathing things. Verse 18 says, They have not known, they have not known nor understood, for he, which mean the idols, has shut their eyes that they cannot see, and their hearts that they cannot understand. You see that? And it says,
Wow.
And none considereth in his heart, which is his mind, neither is there knowledge nor understanding to say, I have burned part of it in the fire, yea, also I have baked bread upon the coals thereof. I have roasted flesh and eaten it. And shall
Whoa.
I make the residue thereof an abomination? Shall I fall down to the stock of a tree?
Ooh.
So it's saying that while they're creating all these idols, it doesn't appear to them like, listen, I'm the one that made this. Obviously through Yahweh Shem Yahushai, because what? All goings, all things are done by Yahweh Shem Yahushai's will. But when these people creating these idols and all these demigods, right? They're not saying to themselves, like, okay, I formed this, I created this. Why the hell am I bowing down to something like that? Because Yahweh
Right.
Shem Yahushai took away that wisdom. You know, if you fear the Lord, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. And a lot of these heathens do not fear the Lord. So they don't have that wisdom to understand, like, yo, what I'm doing is just pure vanity. I formed this. So why the hell am I bowing down to it? Why am I crying and falling down to my knees, snot's coming out of my nose, talking about, please give me some
Right.
type of blessing, so on and so forth, man. So
And
this is just the,
that's ludicrous,
Mhm.
bro.
It's
That's
ludicrous,
like
man.
I had, and I ain't talking about the rapper, but that's ludicrous. So that's kind of like, I impregnate my wife, and she gives
Yeah.
birth to my son, and now I'm on my knees praising and worshiping him because I created him. No, there's no difference than someone
Uh-huh.
molding or graving an image. Yes, I'm.
Yes. And you mentioned, you said, what good can come out of celebrating these holidays like
Yep.
today? And the answer is nothing, because
Mhm.
that highly offends the Heavenly Father. That's why we're not to um, celebrate. So watch this. Exodus 20:1-6. And it says, And God spoke all these words, saying, I am the Lord your power, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Thou shalt not
Mhm.
have no other gods before me. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven images or any likenesses of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water underneath the earth. Thou
Mm,
shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them, for I am the Lord thy power, am a jealous power,
Oof.
visiting the
Yep.
iniquities of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation
Mhm.
of them that hate me.
Yep.
con, con. Yeah, hey, and also to verify what I was saying, this is from Wikipedia. Flying spaghetti monster. The
Mm.
flying spaghetti monster is the deity of the Church of the Flying Spaghetti Monster, or Pastafarianism, a social movement. Brother, I'm not. This is on Wikipedia. I'm not. A social movement that promotes a lighthearted view of religion originated in opposition to the teaching of intelligent design in public schools.
Mm.
Bro,
Yeah.
why does the heathen rage, y'all? It's like this is
Imagine
true.
the vain thing.
This is right here. I don't know if y'all can see it. Y'all definitely can see
Oh
that.
my gosh, man. Yeah, I'm gonna
And
have definitely have to look that up, man. That's
just
just pure
type,
foolishness, man.
just,
Confusion, foolishness,
exactly.
man.
Just type in flying spaghetti monster.
That goes right back into Jeremiah 10. The customers of the
Uh-huh.
heathens are vain.
Or vain.
Right,
Con.
right. And
I got
you
a
have something. You have
kind of like
something.
I
Go
got
ahead.
something in the Habakkuk just to
Go ahead.
go back on,
Uh,
that
I know
these
you going.
that these things, are no profit. They're no profit to you. This is Habakkuk, the second chapter, Oh man, I'm sorry. That flying spaghetti monster, man. All right,
I'm
this is
not.
Habakkuk, chapter 2 and verse 18, and it says, "What profiteth the graven image that the maker thereof hath graven it, the
Hmm.
molten image and teacher of lies,
Right.
that the maker of his work trusteth therein to make dumb idols." So this is a question. It's saying that
Yeah.
what is that man going to profit from spiritually? Because we know, okay, he'll profit corruptible riches, right? Because he'll sell it, people will buy it, and he'll get rich off of hypocrisy and lies. But what is it going to
Right.
profit him spiritually? You know,
Right.
verse 19 says, "Woe unto him that saith to the wood, awake, to the dumb stone, arise, it shall teach. Behold,
Mm.
it is laid over with gold and silver." Going back to what? Going back to this Christmas tree, man. They deck the halls with
Wow.
Right.
balls
Right.
of
Right.
whatever, you know. It says, "Woe unto him that saith to the wood, awake, to the dumb stone, arise, it shall teach. Behold, it is laid over with gold and silver, and there is no breath at all in the midst of it." You
Not
see
a
that?
out.
So you're not going. What is their profit spiritually? What are you going to get out of worshiping Christmas spiritually? What are you going to get out of worshiping Easter? What are you going to get out of worshiping all these vain holidays? You're going to reap death.
Thank you.
That's all you're going to reap. Because what? The ways of the heathen is just pure death, man. Especially Esau, Edom. I mean, think about it, Ak. They got
It's
to
real
kill the
now.
tree. They
The
got
way
to
you
kill
said,
the tree. They got to kill the tree in order to what?
kill the tree.
Place it in a store so it could be sold, so it could be decked out with silver and gold.
Wow. Wow.
Man, you got it, Doc.
That's sick, man. Well, yeah. Like the brother said, you have to kill a tree. It's like
Yeah.
it's an oxymoron. The ways of the heathen are backwards. You have to kill a tree to give it life. What? You have to kill a tree to give it life. So the brother gonna bring out a good example in
Mhm.
Acts, the 19th chapter, the 24th verse through the 26th verse. All right. Right up.
Acts 19 and 24 through 26. For a certain man named Demetrius, a silversmith, which made silver shrines for
Mm.
Diana, brought no small gain unto the craftsmen, whom he called together with the workmen of like occupation, and said, Sirs, ye know that by this craft we have our wealth.
So they were worshiping Diana, Artemis. Our people was doing that,
Yeah.
making idols, making money off of that. That's
Mhm.
why they won't stop holidays, because they make money off of it. They profit off of it. Go ahead, up.
Moreover, ye see and hear that not alone
Ephesus.
at Ephesus, water,
Hmm.
but almost throughout all Asia, this Paul had persuaded and turned away much people, saying that they be no gods which are made with
So
hands.
even Paul was saying, while y'all worshiping Diana, these are gods. These are no gods that are made with hands.
Mhm.
Going back to what me and his brother was saying and then calling away to camp. You mean to tell me in 2021 you got so-called Negro Latinos and Native Americans still worshiping Santa Claus? Because originally the way it was taught to us in the hood and the
Yeah.
project in the ghettos in the barrio that this fat Edomite man is gonna have this sack of goods, gonna come down your chimney, you're gonna eat the milk and cookies. If you've been a good boy or girl, you'll get a present. If not, you get cold put in your stocking. All this BS. And like, how the hell can you believe some BS like that? Living in a project building with houses on top of houses, no chimney, but you still gonna put a damn tree in your house. You're still gonna go and work, bust your ass overtime to buy these presents, put them up
Exactly.
under there, and you gonna give all the honor and glory and praise to a deity that doesn't freaking exist? When if you really go back to Saint Nicholas
Uh-huh.
is kind of like Robin Hood, where he was
Mm.
robbing the rich to give to the poor. People really don't understand the truth. Saint Nicholas was a Jake anyway, right? But Esau would take those stories and they'll run with it. So like Paul was saying, y'all worshiping Diana, they're like that's not even a god. All right, continue on.
And it reads, verse 27, Acts 19 and 27, so that not only this, our craft is in danger to be set at naught, but also that the temple of the great goddess Diana should be despised,
Mm-hmm.
and her magnificence should be destroyed,
Her magnificent
Mm.
ship destroyed. Go ahead.
whom all
Asia.
Asia, the water, and the world worship.
And if you really want to go back into it, Artemis, Diana, which goes back to Artemis, really goes back to Ashtoreth. All right, because
Wow. That's
Ashtoreth,
rough.
right, because Ashtoreth goes back to the goddess of vegetation.
Mm.
Like right here, I'm reading. I did a little Google search for y'all brothers and sisters out there. Artemis, because when you go into Diana in the blue letter, it goes back to Artemis. In Greek religion, the goddess of wild animals, the hunt, and vegetation, and of chastity and childbirth, she was identified by the Romans with Diana. Artemis
Mm.
was the daughter of Zeus and Leto, and the twin sister of Apollo. Among the royal populace, Artemis was the favorite goddess. Now, to get a better understanding, Artemis, like I said, goes back to Ashtoreth. When you actually go into who Ashtoreth goes back to the Queen of Heaven,
Heaven.
who our people were making cakes to in the book of Jeremiah.
Yep.
So
Sacrifice.
when Jeremiah was talking about cutting the tree, that goes back to also Semiramis being in correlation with Ashtoreth. And people
Mm.
don't even know it. That's how Christmas today, paganism, they link Christianity with Easter.
Mm.
Because Easter, you're really worshiping Ashtoreth. Because she's the goddess of fertility, the goddess of vegetation. Because what happens during Easter, which I don't bunnies have nothing to do with eggs. They don't even lay
Exactly.
them.
Bunnies laying
So
eggs.
right. So it is what it is, they lay
Heathen.
eggs all throughout, the yard. The eggs goes back to a woman's ovaries.
Mm.
The little children looking for the eggs is sperm. So the children find the eggs, put them in their little baskets, and hey, and they have baskets full of candy. They candies to get the children hyped up so
Mm-hmm.
that later on they can crash, and all the adults are supposed to be drinking, being debaucherous, and having sex and fornicating to reproduce again. So it's really all an act. That's
Yep.
what Easter is all about. It really has nothing to do with the Messiah, though we know that Easter really is talking about spring, the new year coming about, which goes back to 14 days after the first day. I'm sorry, yeah, 14 days after the first day of the new year, which will lead into what? The Passover,
Yep.
you know? So these devils know the true meaning behind all of these wicked. They call them holidays, which they are not holy days when you really break
Mm-hmm.
it down. Holiday is a compound word for holy days, and there's nothing holy about it. It's separate from the Bible, but there's nothing righteous about it. I'll say that much.
Con.
I have a couple more precepts, and I'm gonna let you
Yep.
go.
Con.
This
Con.
is wisdom. This is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 15, verse 15. For they counted all the idols of the heathen to be gods, which neither have the use of eyes to see, nor noses to draw breath, nor ears to hear, nor fingers of hands to handle. And as for their feet, they are slow to go. For man made them, and he that borrowed his own spirit fashioned them. Let that sink in.
Mm-hmm.
But no man can make a God like unto himself. For being mortal, he worketh a dead thing with wicked hands. For he himself is better, for he himself is better than the things which he worshipeth, whereas he lived once, but they never.
Wow.
Come on, man.
Wow.
Yeah. So that I had to back up with the Habakkuk 2:18.
Woo, God, man. It's like,
They
yo,
tripping,
you
bro.
you're worshiping something lower than you.
Wow.
You
You can
actually
make a
have,
God.
More power.
yo,
Come on now.
oh
Go ahead.
man, that's just
Finish,
that's
finish,
just
finish,
that's hey, that's the stupidity of especially of our
finish.
people, man. That's still hey, what does
Buggy.
it say in the book of Proverbs? I think it's Proverbs 14 and 18. And it says that the simple inherit folly, man. You
Yeah,
know,
man.
that's
Here,
all they do. They love
man.
it so, man, because it's pleasing
Right,
to the ears, right? It
right.
brings up joy. It brings up that spirit of mirth. But we know that the scriptures tell us what it's better to dwell in the house of mourning, man.
Right.
You know, because we're not here to party and bullshit. We're here to bring out our to go through our judgment, right, and to hope towards salvation. And it's funny that you brought out to the spirit because you brought out how they lay the eggs, right? And they had the children come in and pick
Right.
up the eggs and everything like that. Because you know how the churches say, "Oh, we're gonna do it for the kids. We're gonna do it for the kids," right? So I'm like, "All right,
Do it
so
for the
what?
vibe. Do it for the
You want to
vibe.
put your kids to death too? You know, you're already dead, but now you want to bring your kids into it. So let's get that, man. Let's go to the
Hey,
book
but
of Jeremiah.
that's beautiful though, because that's no different than passing your children through the fire for
Uh
Malak.
huh.
That's what you do when you
Con. Yep.
sacrifice your children during Christmas and during Easter.
Oh,
Wicked
it's like
thing.
yeah, these people, man, are just they inherit folly,
Well,
man. This is why folly is
well,
set in great dignity, man.
yeah, right.
Check this
Mm-hmm.
out. This is Jeremiah 19 and 5. I'm going to start at verse 5. And it says, they have built also the high places of Baal to burn their sons with fire for burnt offerings unto Baal, which I commanded not, nor spake it, neither came it unto my mind. Now check this out. It says, oh,
Good job,
Salaki,
bro.
that's what I was going. That's what I was
Good
going.
job.
So, as a matter of fact, let me read verse 4, Salakia. And it says, because they have forsaken me and have estranged this place and have burned incense into unto other gods whom neither they nor their fathers have known, nor the kings of Judah or Yahweh have filled this place with the blood of the innocents. So the blood of the innocents, when you think about that, when people say, oh, children are innocent, you know. So now I'm gonna read verse
Right,
5.
right. I see what you're saying. Yeah, now I
Come,
see what you mean by
come.
them giving their children over into idols. Right. I got it.
Exactly. And now I'm gonna read verse 5. That's my for Salakia. And verse 5 says, they have built also the high places of Baal. And when you think about it, man, these churches, man, are considered high places. Sacrifice what?
Yeah,
Unto idols. You
yeah,
know?
they're pretty much they're altars. These churches are big
Altars.
altars. You know, just like how
Yep.
Elder Pastor Hart said, America's one big altar,
Big
getting ready
altar.
for a big sacrifice. Right.
Sacrifice. God. Yep. Verse 5 says, they have built also the high places of Baal to burn their sons with fire for burnt offerings unto Baal, which I commanded not, nor spake it, neither came it into my mind. You see that? So you have the heathens doing it, but obviously we know that Yahweh Bashim Yahshua gave us a strict commandment to not envy thou oppressor and choose none of his ways. So we have,
Right.
2/3 of our people that still go out to these whorehouses, right? These big altars, right? That spirit of confusion. I mean, come on, you got a church teaching the Ten Commandments, but then when you go to Easter gathering, they got a giant bunny holding the cross, dancing with eggs, man. That doesn't make any sense. That's just pure confusion. All it is to
Absolutely.
what? It's to sacrifice the sons and daughters unto these idols, man, which is a form of, as the brother said, putting him through the fire what's his name again? To not
To
Baal,
oh, Malek.
to Khan, to
Malek.
Malak, Melech,
Yeah. Right.
Salakia, to Melech. This is
Which
all
which
this
which
is
which
yeah,
Salaki, which Millet goes back to that like 40-some foot tall owl in the Bohemian
mm,
Grove in California. That's what Millet goes back to. Go ahead, Up.
Khan. Yep. And that's the basic practice of these holidays, man, of
Yep.
these
Yep.
pagan philosophies.
Hmm.
Everything this all of this goes against the true wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. This is why in Jeremiah the 44th chapter it tells you that what? That Yahweh Bashem Yahushai sent this prophet to tell you not to do these abominable things. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna get that. I'm gonna get that.
Hey
I'm gonna
brother,
go to Jeremiah 44.
why you
Nice.
getting that?
Yep.
You the brother Lawat got a precept.
Because
Con.
we don't celebrate these holidays because it's that the fear that the Lord put on us, man. We
Yep.
really fear Yahweh Shemi Shai, and we know that if we go there, we're gonna be willingly offending him, you know. And I got these precepts that I got here. It shows that these false gods don't have no power. Watch this. It says
Mm.
letter of Jeremiah in the Apocrypha 1:4-6, and then I'm gonna jump down through 12-17. It's beautiful. Watch this. It says, now shall ye see in Babylon gods of silver and of gold and of wood burn upon shoulders, which cause the nations to fear. Beware therefore that ye in no wise be like to strangers, neither be ye and of them, when
Mm.
ye see the multitude before them and behind them worshiping them. But say in your heart, O Lord, we must worship thee. And that's what's in our heart. That's what the Lord put in our heart. We're gonna
Con.
worship Yahweh Bashem Yahushai and not man. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Jumping down verse 12. Watch this. Ye cannot these gods save themselves from rust and moth, though they be covered with purple raiment. Watch this. They wipe their faces because of the dust of the temple when there is much upon them. And he that cannot put to death one that offended him
Mm.
holdeth a scepter as though he were a judge of the country. He that also is his right hand a dagger and an axe, but cannot deliver him from the war and thieves, whereby they are
Yep.
known not to be gods, therefore fear them not. Last
Mhm.
one, and it says, for like as a vessel that a man useth is nothing worth than it is broken, even so it is with their gods. When they be set up in a temple, their eyes be full of dust through the feet of them that came in.
Hey,
Oh.
that's funny, man. Yo, clowning them. So even the guys that they set up, their eyes are covered with dust from the feet of them that walk in.
Mhm.
Get the man, go ahead. That was a good one. Man, them fools, man.
Oh man, hey, and they worship him, man.
They worse.
They worship it like a god, and they have the audacity to tell us, man, where's your God? We don't even see him. You guys worship a God that we can't even see. At least we can see ours.
Yeah, the one that you created, right? Go
Yeah,
kick rocks with no shoes on.
that goes
Goddamn,
that
baby.
Oh
that goes into
man,
that goes into First Peter 4:4, wherein
mm,
they think it strange that ye run not with them
con.
to the same excess of riot, speaking evil of you.
Right.
They think it's
Yep,
strange. How come you don't?
it's
How
a
come you're
strange
not
thing.
true? Yeah,
Hmm.
Yep.
They think it's a strange thing. This is why the scriptures tell us what in what is it I think it's the book of Exodus. It tells us not to follow the multitude of the evil, because the
Right. Right.
multitude
Yep. Yep.
are going to go up there to these, to these parades, Christmas parades, and things like that. But they think it's
Right.
strange once we come into our nationality and our remembrance, who we are. Coming back to the Lord's statutes and commandments. Okay, we're not supposed to have any gods before Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. We're not supposed to take on the ways of the heathen. So when we disconnect ourselves, you know, that's when they say, oh, like the brother Lawat says, like, yo, he ain't coming around no more. He ain't coming, to carve the ham and carve the turkey. None of that, man. you know?
Right.
Oh man. But at the end of the day, we know that things, these abominable things causes the Lord to be very furious and angry with us. This is why we have the fear of the Lord, because we know what the Lord is capable of. All right. And Yahweh
Hell
Bashem
yeah.
Yahushai, through his mercy, sends the men of the Lord to warn our people to disassociate ourselves with the ways of the heathen, right? And to come back to the Lord. So I'm going to go
Right.
into the book of Jeremiah, and I'm gonna start at verse 3, and it says, Salakia, Jeremiah 44 and verse 3, and it says, because of their wickedness which they have committed to provoke me to anger, in that they went to burn incense and to serve other gods, whom they knew not, neither they, ye, nor your fathers. So this is going back to what? Our forefathers. Our forefathers worshiped the one and true living God, which is Yahweh, through his son Yahweh Shai. All right. Verse 4 says, howbeit I sent unto you all my servants the prophets, rising early and sending them, saying, oh, do not this abominable thing that I hate. Because Yahweh Bashem Yahushai tells us in Amos the 5th chapter that he hates and despises these feast days. So these feast days are what? Also being sacrificed and being paid homage to idols. All right. Jump down to verse 5, and it says, but they hearken not, nor incline their ear to turn from their wickedness, to burn no incense unto other gods. So this is what? Our people being stiff-necked, being stiff-hearted, right? Being sottish, wise to do evil. When it comes to doing good, they have no wisdom. And it says, wherefore my fury, now, going back to that judgment, it says, wherefore my fury and mine anger was poured forth and was kindled in the cities of Judah and in the streets of Jerusalem, and they are wasted and desolate as at this day. So this is basically a judgment, and this is what's going to happen in the future, because we're entering that third woe, and that third woe includes what? Thermonuclear fire, which is going to lay this land desolate. But right now, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, we know he's long suffering, right? And he's slow to anger. So while our people are out there celebrating these pagan holidays, he has the men of the Lord on the highways and byways, right? On the internet, warning, telling you, leave the ways of the heathens or you will be destroyed. All right? Take heed to what the prophets are saying. Depart from this wicked ass land and come back to the Lord's statutes and commandments. Seek salvation. All right? And separate yourself from the heathen. All right? You got it up?
Yeah, that's what the Lord told the nation of Israel. He told us, follow not the customs of the heathen, because of what they've done, he spewed them out of the land. And he said, if
Yep.
we commit the same acts, he will spew us out of the land. Henceforth, where are we right now? Scattered in the four corners of the earth. Made
The earth.
Yep. The brother got one precept, and after that, you can bring out whatever you want.
Yep.
I got Psalms 96 and 5. For all the gods of the nations are idols, but the Lord made the heavens.
Right. So at the end of the day, all the nations, gods are nothing but idols, but he created the heavens. So even the whole Allah, the sun being the God of all of the earth and all of the universe, well, that's buffoonery, because the sun is simply a star. And there are stars out there that are far greater, larger, denser than the sun that we have in our solar system. So that right there, so it's like that even cuts that out. There are so many other stars in the world. Dagon, the Dagon god, the fish god. No, you're not supposed to worship in the sea. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So yeah, so it's like when you think about that, man, at the end of the day, like even the Gadites, the Reubenites, they are like, they have certain gods that they say, oh, I speak to the earth, I speak to the bears, I speak to the wolves and everything, this wolf god, this tree god. No, you're supposed to worship the God that created all things. And remember, in St. John the 4th chapter, it says, woman, you don't know what you worship. We know what we worship for salvation of the Jews. And in that day shall the true worshipers worship God, because God is a spirit, and they will worship him in spirit and in truth.
Calm. Yep.
Beautiful.
Beautiful.
I also got Psalms 115, 3 through 5. It says, but our power is in the heavens, and he does whatsoever he pleased.
One of my favorite.
And that's what makes the Most High so intimidating, because he does whatever he pleases.
You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna formulate a tornado in December, and I'm gonna have it stretch over 200 something miles for an extended period of time, the first time ever in U.S.
Hmm.
history. I'm a, why would God do that? Because He can. Don't question Him. Don't question Him.
Yep.
It's kind of
For my
like,
ways are not your ways, man.
yeah, it's like kind of like it's even like
God.
sometimes I've been with Kevin Samuels. I don't know if you know who Kevin Samuel is. So
Yeah, yeah,
sometimes
yeah.
you watch.
Yep.
And I think a woman said something. She was like, okay, so what am I supposed to do to make my man happy? Just say yes. She was like, okay, but let's say I may have a thought, or just say yes. You know what? It don't even matter. He was like, matter of fact, was you raised with your mother and your father? The woman said yes. So who was the breadwinner? Who was the head of the household? My father.
Hmm.
Wasn't there times your father told you to do something, and even if you asked, he would tell you just because he said so? She got quiet and said yes. He was like, thank you. So people ask, why would the Lord do it? Because He can. Don't
Hmm.
question. His thoughts are not your thoughts. Let Him do it. You know?
Exactly. Exactly.
Psalm, mhm. Psalms 115:3. For our power is in the heavens. He hath done whatsoever he hath pleased. Their gods are silver and gold, and the
Mm.
work of man's hands. They have mouths, but they speak not. Eyes they have, but they see not.
Oh, that's it. That's it, man.
You know what's
Long,
beautiful about that, Lawat? I'm sure you brothers have seen this before, or maybe on TV, television, or whatever. They have these monkeys, right? That say what? That see no evil, hear
yep,
no evil.
yep, yep,
you know, that's the
yep.
spirit that brought me. That brought
That's
me
the
to that.
idols.
Oh,
Because none of
That's
these
the
idols
idols.
can speak. They can't hear. They can't see. They're dumb idols fashioned from the hands of
Mhm.
man. You know. But guess what?
They're not
Like the brother
what?
brought out in Psalms, that our Father is in the heavens. All right. So check this out. This is Colossians chapter 1, and I'm gonna bring out right. I'm gonna start at let's see. I'm gonna start at verse 15, and it says, who is the image of the invisible God, the firstborn of every creature. Verse 16 says, for by him were all things created, that are in heaven and that are in earth, visible and invisible, whether they be thrones or dominions or principalities or powers, all things were created by him and for him. You see that? So everything that was created, even the person that created the idols, was created by who? The Heavenly Father, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. You see that? And he is before all things, and by him all things consist. So this is that tells you right there in a nutshell, man, that we have the one and true living power, the one and true living God who created man to create an idol. You know, it's foolishness to create something that you were given the power to create by the Heavenly Father. So why would you worship your creation and not the creator? You know, it's just pure foolishness. Goes back to these false holidays, man. Not
Right.
understanding that, what's the perfect example? How they say that Jesus Christ, right? His birthday is celebrated on Christmas. Now, we know that's a damn lie. Because first of all, there's nothing in the scriptures that say Yahweh shall worship this birthday, you know? And it's nothing
Right.
that said that Yahweh Shah was born in Christmas, man, where all things are dying off. You know, everything
Right.
is cold, the trees losing their leaves, everything, man. You know, the scriptures tell us that based it was in the time of the Passover. It said that every year that Yahweh Shai and his family, right, went to go celebrate the Passover. You know, so that tells you right then and there that Yahweh Shai was not born on Christmas. His birthday has nothing to do with Christmas. Christmas has nothing to do with Yahweh Shai. You know, it's just pure confusion. So yeah.
And and also, um, all of the inns were full during that time
Mm,
when Mary and Joseph had Yahweh Shai. So where did they sleep? They put him in the manger. I
yep.
remember Elder Apostle Gabar went into it. The word manger, I think in the Latin, is manja, which means to eat. In the
Manja.
manger, where they will put the oats or the hay for the beasts to eat, like the horses and everything. So
Yep.
if Yahweh Shai was born in the dead of winter, that baby would have died in that manger. So that doesn't make any sense. You know what I'm saying? So it's
It's
like,
just yeah.
no, he wasn't. Yeah, the Passover, he was a Passover. You know,
Yep.
you got anything else, brother?
So
You got that?
I'm gonna bring out some base, some judgment for the worshiping of these false idols in holidays. So I'm gonna go into Amos the 5th chapter. We got to bring that out. Oh man, yeah, that spaghetti monster, man. I still got that on the brain. I still I still got that on the brain, man.
That is a real thing, man. That is a real thing, man. Why do the
All right.
heathen rage, bro?
Yep. Imagine the same thing. This is Amos 5 in verse 20. In verse 21, it says, I despise your feast days, and I will not smell in your solemn assemblies. So this is Yahweh saying, like, listen, I hate your false idols, and I hate these wicked holidays. All right, that's created by men. And it says, though ye offer me burnt offerings and your meat offerings, I will not accept them, neither will I regard the peace offerings of your fat beasts. Take thou away from me the noise of thy songs. So this holiday cheering, going outside and what do they call that? I forgot what they call it when they go from door to door and sing Christmas
Christmas
carols.
caroling.
Yeah,
Christmas
Christmas
caroling.
caroling. There we go.
Right.
Christmas caroling. That's what he's talking about. And it says, take thou away from me the noise of thy songs, for I will not hear the melody of thy viols. All right. So he's not hearing any of that, man. He's not hearing no Christmas caroling. All right. He doesn't want to hear anything about Thanksgiving, about Easter, about any of that. All right. But instead, this is what was that up?
No, I'm saying every time you say Thanksgiving, just put a smile on my
Yeah.
face. It's like, wow, I know what you're saying when you say that.
Yeah, man. Thanksgiving,
Right,
man.
right. Wicked ass
Thanksgiving.
Edomite. Yeah.
Wicked ass Edomites, man. And especially the 2/3 of our people who know who they are, but they refuse to hearken, man. And they still do these vain things. They still
Oh,
join hand with the heathen, you know?
that's what you said. What you said earlier. You said something about ignorance, and I said,
Mm-hmm.
"Well, ignorance is bliss."
Yep.
Because even going back to Christmas, our people know goddamn well ain't no fucking fat white man coming down the chimney because they ain't got one. But
Yep.
ignorance is bliss. It feels good to be ignorant because having to deal with the fact that you've been taught a lie your entire life,
Mm.
it will make you upset. But because Jake have so much freaking pride, they're still willing to live the life of a lie. That's sad, bro. That's damn sad. You're gonna continue to live the life of a lie because you're full of pride. Just admit you was
Yep.
wrong. You were taught a lie and move on. You never
Yep.
have growth that way. You're just gonna stunt yourself. It's like a malignant tumor.
Exactly. Exactly. And this is why Yahweh Bashim Shah is going to rain down that judgment, as it says in this in verse 24. But let judgment run down as waters and righteousness as a mighty stream. You see that? And that judgment is going into what? The day of the Lord's sacrifice. Jeremiah 30:7, Jacob's troubles. All right. Where our people are going to be slaughtered. And that'll be funny, if it happens on one of their holidays too. They they partying and bullshit, and all of a sudden, boom, that flood hits them. Just like in the days of Noah.
That's
I'm gonna
right.
read
That's
the
right. Just like in the days of Noah. That's why I had brought out
uh-huh.
that precept in Joshua, talking about the gods that was on the other side of the flood.
God. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I got Jeremiah 7:23 and 24. But this thing commanded I, saying, obey my voice, and I
Mm.
will be your power. And man, that's what's so beautiful about this truth and so clear about it, man. The Lord just wants us to please him. The Lord just
Yep.
wants us to live a life of obedience, man, so he can be our power.
Exactly.
He is our power, and it says, and ye shall be my people, and walk ye in all the ways that I have commanded you, that it may be well unto you.
God.
Mm.
But they hearkened not, nor declined their ear, but walked in the counsel and in the imagination of their evil hearts, and went backwards and not forward.
Right.
So
And that's
Yep.
why old backsliding Israel. A lot of people are willing to be ignorant, but at the end of the day, this truth is only for the elect.
Calm.
It's only for the elect. You know, as long as we're here in Babylon, we're going to always cover the present event. Okay, if Valentine's Day comes up, we'll probably talk on that. Mother's Day come
Yep.
up, we'll probably talk on that. Halloween comes up, we'll probably talk on that. Thanksgiving, because we're constantly going to be in defense of the gospel of that which is true and that which is not. As many
Hmm.
times as the left hand side is going to continue to promote their wickedness, we have no
Wow.
choice but to continue to promote what's righteous. That's the
Righteousness.
perfect balance of the Lord. That's the yin and the
Perfect
yang.
balance.
You know,
Yep.
like it's like that time when Bob Marley got shot. And a couple days later, a couple weeks later, whatever, they were like, "Oh, you finna go out and perform again?" He was like, "Evil takes no day off, so neither should I." We don't have
Hmm.
no days off. Lil Wayne had a rap song like that, "No days off." Even though the way he was thinking was like in a 2/3 Jake way, we
Carnal.
ain't got
Yep.
no days off. Every day we wake up, we work in hell. Brothers go to sleep and they still working because the Lord give them dreams. We don't have no days
Book of
off
Job. Yep. Con.
on vacation. People say, "Oh, enjoy your vacation. Merry Christmas at my job." Man, the next day, where I'm at? I'm at your crib.
Yeah, I've seen
Nope.
videos, with the elder in South Carolina. He was at the beach with his family, but what did he do? He stepped to the side and was still doing the work.
Doing the work.
He mentioned, "Oh, I'm
Yep.
at the beach with the family. I just, Spirit hopped on me. You know what I mean? He just did a walk and talk."
That's right.
Hmm.
That's right.
Con, man. We're
Anything
supposed to
else up?
occupy until he comes. So
Come.
I'm gonna bring out Ezekiel the 6th chapter. Got a couple of precepts and then we close out. If you guys don't have anything else.
I'm solid. Unless y'all
So,
keep going.
Let's
this
see
is
what happened.
Ezekiel. I'm gonna start at Ezekiel chapter 6, and I'm gonna start at verse 4. And it says, I'm gonna start at verse 2, and it says, "Son of man, set thy face toward the mountains of Israel and prophesy against them, and say, Ye mountains of Israel, hear the word of the Lord Yahweh." This is going back to what we're doing as prophets, trying to warn our people. And it says, "Thus saith the Lord Yahweh to the mountains and to the hills, to the rivers and to the valleys, Behold, I, even I, will bring a sword upon you, and I will destroy your high places." Right? Going back to what? These whorehouses, man. Because in the hood, on every corner, there's a damn whorehouse, man. A wicked
Yeah.
altar ran by Deacon Crab Legs and Bishop Porkchop.
Man,
So, so when you go
this cat said Deacon Crab
Crab
Legs.
Legs, man, and it
Bishop,
says,
Bishop,
verse
Bishop
4
Pork Chop. That's
says,
funny.
"And your altars shall be desolate, and your images
Right.
shall be broken, and I will cast down your slain men before your idols." Verse 5 says, "And I will lay the dead carcasses of the children of Israel before their idols, and I will scatter your
Con,
bones round about before your altars." You see that?
con.
So that is,
Tell you.
listen, that's plain and simple. Yahweh Bashem Yahushai is going to judge you for celebrating these pagan holidays, man. Especially now that you have the truth. Because the prophets are on the
Thank
highways
you.
and byways and
Con.
always abiding in the work, bringing out the judgments
Matthew. No, was it Matthew?
of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai for being stiff-necked and for being a rebellious people. So I'm gonna just
Right.
add one more precept, Akim. This is Ezekiel 23 and verse 30, and it says, "And I will do these things unto thee because thou hast gone a whoring after the heathen, and because thou art polluted with their idols." You see that?
That's
So
right.
Yahweh Bashem Yahushai is justified in what he's about to do. He's justified in his judgment. It's because 2/3 of our people still want to go whoring after idols. They want to
Right.
worship creations of their own hands, not realizing that Yahweh Bashem Yahushai is the one that gave them life in order to do such things. You know? So that's a slap in the face to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. That's also a slap in the face that you know who you are according to the scriptures, right? Through the mouthpiece of the prophets who are out there on the highways and hedges daily bringing out this word. But you refuse and you want to be stiff-necked. So you have to suffer that judgment, which was going to happen in Jacob's trouble, Jeremiah 30 and 7.
Right. And going back, hey, you just said something. It clicked in my mind, but I forgot exactly. But going back to them knowing the truth but don't want to accept it, they have no choice
Mm-hmm.
anymore. they have to be chastised. They have no excuse. I meant to say. Go ahead. I'm gonna close out.
Yep.
Well, he whatever his brother got.
John 15:21. But all these things they will do.
I know it's the spirit.
But all these things they will do unto you for my name's sake, because
Mm,
they have not known him that sent me. And
Keep
that's,
going.
that's Yahweh. And it says, if I had not come and spoken unto them, they had not had sin. But now they have no cloak for their sins.
mhm.
How did Yahushua go before them? He sent us. You just
Prophets.
said it. And before
Yep.
you said that, I
Prophets.
told that brother to get this precept. See how the spirit works? So they
Hmm.
have no cloak for the sins. You made videos, I made video, the elder made a video in Saturnalia. Matter of fact, I've covered Christmas 3 times this week. I did a video
Con.
on
Yep.
Saturnalia
Yep.
on Orders of Christmas, Yule. Then me and the brother at camp, we went in on it as well, and we
Hmm.
just did a video right now. Ain't no excuse, no
No excuse.
excuse, people not to know. And then Elder Apostle Ramla did a response video. Ain't no excuse no more. Just
Hmm.
like I was talking to the brother earlier, I think it was today we were talking, and it's like for years, my mother and my aunts and my brothers and my cousins, they know I don't celebrate no holidays, so they don't even say Merry Christmas. I ain't get no Merry Christmas. I ain't get no Happy Thanksgiving this year. Last year,
Hmm.
neither, or maybe the year before, maybe, because they know I don't respond anymore. My mother was born on. Don't get me either. It's New Year's Eve or New Year's Day. My mother was born. My mother did not receive a Merry Christmas or a Happy Birthday from me at all.
Hmm.
Nor did I receive a Merry Christmas from her or my aunt. Why? Because they know I don't believe that BS. But this is the
No.
thing though. And I was saying this to the brother. Out of all the years that they know I don't celebrate this, and all the years that they told me this lie that I celebrated, how come they never took the time to humble themselves and ask us,
Mm.
why don't you celebrate it?
Yep.
Because
Hmm.
ignorance is blissful. They have too much pride. They don't want to admit that they've been taught a lie and they taught us a lie. Hell, I
Yep.
knew I was taught a lie. Guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna change it and I'm gonna convert to the truth.
Yep.
And you can't be prideful repenting. There's no way you can be a prideful repenter. If that's a
Because
word,
you haven't
repenter. You
repented.
can't pridefully repent. That's
Uh huh.
stupid. That's like a feminist saying she's Christian. No, you're not. There's no way you could be a feminist and a Christian at the same time. Because now you're saying you're equal to a man. You can't be
Hmm.
in the same breath saying you're a Christian, you know? But anyway, go ahead. All right. Well, if you got anything to
That's
say, man, you can
that's
go ahead.
that's another that's another what James 1:8
Sorry,
being
man. Somebody, hold
being
on, hold
double
on now.
minded, man, unstable. You know.
Hey, man, hey, what your boy said on Baby Boy? Listen, I ain't gonna call y'all female dogs. He said the B word, though.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna
Yeah.
call y'all unstable creatures.
Yeah. Hey.
And he tried to be as politically correct as he could, and he said it perfectly. I'm just gonna call y'all unstable creatures. Yeah, man. You
God.
got
But
anything
at,
else?
at at the end of the day, you know, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai is basically telling us one thing, man. Just to keep his commandments. To keep
That's
his
it.
commandments and live.
That's
That's
it.
it. That's it. That's all we here to do. We wasn't placed here, to take on the ways of the heathen, man. We was placed here to what? To come back into remembrance and to seek the Lord 10 times more. All right.
Right.
So I'm gonna end it off. I'm gonna end it off with Ecclesiastes 12 and 13. And it says, let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. All right. Fear Yahweh, right? Because why? Because the beginning of wisdom is fearing the Lord and keep his commandments. That's basically the whole point. For this is the whole duty of man. So this is what we're supposed to do. Yahweh Bashem Yahushai chose us out of all the nations. He gave us
Right.
laws, statutes, and commandments to walk in. All right. He gave us these scriptures to go back into the past to what? To see how we fell in that time, right? And you always say it, Ak, now that you know better, do better. You know?
Yeah.
So everything in the scriptures is written for our learning. We're
Yep.
supposed to learn and do what? And to do better.
You do
We
better.
know that we know the penalty of not following the Lord's commandments, man. So now guess what? We have no
Right.
cloak for our sins. We know who we are. We know what we're supposed to do. And as we just read in Ecclesiastes, we're supposed to fear the Lord, keep his commandments. Fear the Lord, keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. All right.
That's right.
So
Hey,
I want to say,
and Elder,
Khan.
I mean, real quick, Elder Pastor Gabar
Mhm.
said it best. His elder said it to him and them as well. We have to go through wickedness so that in order for us to appreciate
Yep.
righteousness. Yep.
Khan.
Now,
Yep.
now we appreciate it more and more.
Uh huh. We
That's
appreciate it
all.
more, and this is why we want to
Yep.
get the hell out of here.
Yeah, yeah.
This is why we
That's
want to
right.
get out of here.
Yep.
So,
You
brothers,
got it.
thank you, brothers, for coming on.
Ah,
All
man.
right, I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Barakah, Quadash. Again, peace and blessings to the whole family elect that are listening and learning the Akim wa Akwat Yum, and double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone as we teaching us his truth. And much respect to the Gabarium on the highways and hedges, and to the
Con.
Gabarium making videos of vacation, telling you what to envy not the ways of the heathen, you
That's
know,
right. That's right. That's right.
and
That's
and,
right.
and salutations to the whole family elect scattered abroad. And just want to say, keep striving, brothers. Keep pushing. And to the sincere sisters, just keep doing what you're doing. Just keep following in truth and sincerity.
That's
Being
right, brother.
righteous women. All right. And Shalak Rayem to all the wicked holidays, man. We gotta send up these
Shalom,
curses all the time.
Rayam.
Shalak
That's
Rayem,
right.
man. Shalak Rayem to Esau, Edom, and to you wicked 2/3 who just wanna join hand in hand. All right.
That's right.
And Yahweh Mahar and Barakatham, Barakatham, Barakatham to the elect. Shalom.
Con. Shalom, Malak. Shalom.
Shalom.
Con. That was your pop. That was beautiful.